Hello everyone and welcome to this month's Cubit Network's Not-for-Profit Spotlight. Today I'm here with my new friend Jim Conklin, who is the Executive Director of Cultivate Food Rescue in South Bend, Indiana. So Jim, tell me about Cultivate Food Rescue.
Yeah, so we're a food rescue organization. Many people don't really understand what that is, but we take excess food really from every part of the supply chain, farm, retail, grocery store, catering, food distributors, cold storage warehouses. We take that excess food and we repurpose it two different ways. One into a frozen meal backpack program serving students. So really an extension of the school lunch program. Every weekend, a student that's in that free school lunch program gets to take home 6 meals. And so that really—
2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinners.
And it fills that gap between Friday at lunch and Monday morning at breakfast. So that was our first program, started back in 2017. The second program we have is serving our neighborhood pantries, soup kitchens, and other programs like the Boys and Girls Club that provides food as a part of their service. So we rescue the food for free and we give it away for free.
That's awesome.
And it really has grown. Year one, 80,000 pounds of food. And our first food donor was University of Notre Dame. What a great way to start.
Started with a bang, for sure.
And then 2 years ago, it was 1 million pounds of food. Last year, 2 million pounds. And this year, we're heading towards 6 million pounds.
That's amazing, right? So I mean, the concept is relatively simple. Right? But there's a lot of steps to execute on that.
Sure is.
So when you think about, this is food that otherwise might be thrown away.
Would have been thrown away.
Right? So whether it's a restaurant, a catering business, a farm, whatever. And so you're getting it. Right? Bringing it back to your facility here. And I was able to go before we started and see how the sausage is made, so to speak. Right? And you're making it, bundling it, packaging it, et cetera. And then a big part of your thing is freezing it. Right? So keeping it. So you said, I think you have 40,000 meals here?
We do.
Right
on
now?
Hand.
Because the one thing that really resonated with me is when you talked about dependable, right?
Reliable.
Reliable. So you want to make sure that you're very reliable, for your students or your food pantries or whoever given that way.
So in the U.S., we waste about 40% of the food that we produce.
That's crazy.
And that food could feed 100 million people.
Wow. Also
in the U.S., we have about 30 or 35 million people that are called food insecure. And so it could be totally hungry or, at times during the month, hungry. And so you just don't have a reliable resource of food. And so what our goal is to reduce that number. Because we have 3 times the supply that we throw in the landfill. 80% of what we throw in the landfill is perishable food, right? Like logically that makes sense. Because perishable and it spoils quicker than non-perishable food. Our history as a country is really repurposing the non-perishable food. We're really a logistics and distribution company focused on perishable food. And then serving children over the weekend.
So for those that may not, like perishables, like, it's not like in a box, it's not packaged, it can't sit
Fruits,
forever.
Vegetables, protein.
Meats.
So that's what we're really focused on. Healthier for you. And then really for the weekend and the kids that we serve, that's some of the most vulnerable people. Because kids can't fend for themselves. Most of our kids are K through 2nd grade. And so they're relying on mom in most cases. So 60% of the students in our program come from a single mother household who works for full time. And that's the amazing part, the stat that sticks out the most, is a mom is working full time, has multiple kids, and they don't make enough money to provide food every weekend. And so I would say, put yourself in that position. I'm a single mom. I'm trying really hard to make all this work. The school provides meals to my kids during the week, but over the weekend I'm struggling. And so that's why we try to fill that gap.
And those, I know I saw them out there, but for our viewers here, so those 6 meals are all prepackaged. Go in the microwave for 5 minutes. Come out, you're ready to eat.
Frozen, perishable food, always a fresh or frozen vegetable, never a canned vegetable. A protein and a starch.
That's amazing.
So it's a whole meal that's easy to make.
So do you have any like roughly, do you know how many people you feed? Or?
Yeah, so it's really hard to guess because we serve 55 elementary schools, 200 pantries and social service agencies, but our best estimate is somewhere between 25 to 30,000 people a month.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
The thing has really scaled up.
Yeah.
The need is there.
Yeah.
I always say, like in a business,
yeah.
if you have a supply and a demand,
yeah.
you can create a business.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what we've done. Even though we're a not-for-profit, it's still very much a business.
Yeah.
And so there's a supply of food, and there's a huge demand for people that need it. And we're really the logistics in between.
Well, so I really enjoyed like kind of the entrepreneurial talk we were having leading up to this. How this kind of idea hatched with you and one of your former colleagues on a car ride on the way home from India.
Yeah.
Right. The whole idea of the frozen packages and stuff. And so you're doing amazing work. I mean, it's really cool. They got a really nice facility and great people out here working. So if people want to learn more, what's the best way they can learn? Website, Facebook, those things?
Definitely website, but social media is great. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. But like the social media is how we try to educate people about what we're doing. We do an annual report every year that's really good. We'll produce videos on YouTube. So you can really see the process. Seeing is a huge part. We talked earlier, we had 11,000 volunteer sessions.
That's amazing.
And so a lot is engaged.
So obviously if people want to help, there's volunteer opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities.
And then I'm sure there's because you're funded primarily from donations, charitable donations from individuals or organizations. So there's opportunities to do that as well. And I'm sure they can find that on your website as well.
Yeah, I think one of the best, if you're close by, is come in and volunteer. Yeah, you probably could test this. When you see it.
Oh yeah.
It helps define what food rescue is. Most people understand what soup kitchen is and what a food bake is. Cultivate is the merging of those two.
We've been doing these. I've been doing these now for a little over 3 years. This is extremely unique, first of all. But then when I started to talk to you about that, like you're the only one in the country that you know of doing it like this at the scale, et cetera.
Yeah, we don't know any other frozen meal backpack program.
Yeah.
And we searched. There might be another one out there, but the frozen meal is kind of the unique thing. Yeah. And it's really important for kids in vulnerable communities because the meals meet the kids at the school. They're microwavable, and they're a healthy alternative. What we try to do is match that school meal they're getting Monday through Friday.
Well, one of the things that I do when I'm not working is I'm the president of our school board, and we talk a lot about that meal component as well, and how when the kids are well fed, they're better educated. Right, because they're more in tune to learning. When they're well fed. Yeah. And so I think just as human beings, when we're nourished, we perform better. Yeah. Right.
The old Maslow's hierarchy: you have to breathe and you have to eat.
Yeah. Right.
And if you don't eat, you don't function.
Yeah.
And especially kids when they're young, starting school, they have to come to school on Monday ready to learn. Yes. And we know our kids are in the program come to school more often, especially on the day the backpacks are distributed. The meals are a powerful motivator. The students want to be there so they can have food over the weekend. And it's sad to think of it that way.
It's sad and good at the same time. It's more sad than good, but kudos to you guys for doing this.
My background is accounting, and one of the things that I love the most is that it costs us, hard costs for everything we do, about 70 cents a meal.
Wow.
So I mean, today especially think, where can I go and get a meal for 70 cents?
Yeah, no doubt.
And so we can rescue this food, prevent it from going to the landfill. That's another part of what we do, is when you throw food away, it's damaging to the environment because it puts off methane. And methane is horrible for the environment. And it's a circular thing. When we throw food away, our food costs more.
Yes.
And we throw 40% of it away, so it costs a lot more. And when we throw that away, it creates methane, the environment gets warmer. Environment gets warmer, the land doesn't produce as much. It's this kind of whole circle.
Cycle,
And then when the food goes up in price, there are more food insecure individuals.
It's crazy. Well, you guys are doing great work here. And just thanks for, you were very generous with your time. I know you're busy, you got a lot going on, and so I just appreciate all you're doing.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
We love the awareness, especially reaching out to communities that we're not in quite yet.
For sure. And thanks to everybody for watching.